He wasn't born as king, he wasn't even born in France, but in just a few years he would crown himself emperor. He rewrote the laws of nations, crushed monarchies, and changed Europe forever. Was he a genius or a madman, a liberator or a tyrant? This is not the story of Napoleon's battles. This is the story of the mind behind the emperor, his rise, his ambition, and the psychology of power. Welcome to Time's Witness. Born in 1769 in Ajaccio, Corsica, just after the island was annexed by France, Napoleon Bonaparte entered the world as an outsider. Though his family had noble status, they were poor and considered provincial by mainland French standards. His native language was Italian, not French. When he was sent to school in mainland France, he was mocked for his accent, his appearance, and his origins. This experience planted the seeds of resentment, ambition, and the need to prove himself.
I am the child of revolution.
From a young age, Napoleon displayed intense focus and discipline. Sent to military school at the age of 9, he was often isolated but found solace in books. He devoured histories of Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, and Charlemagne. He believed that great men were born for greatness. His belief in destiny became a core part of his identity. He wasn't the most popular or physically dominant, but his mind burned with purpose. When the French Revolution erupted in 1789, it dismantled the old aristocratic order and opened the door for ambitious men like Napoleon. He quickly aligned himself with the revolutionary government and used his military skill to gain prominence. Opportunistic yet loyal to the revolutionary ideals when convenient, Napoleon learned to navigate the new power structures with cold precision. The old world was falling, he was ready to shape the new one. Though often awkward in person, Napoleon had a powerful presence. He knew how to command attention and use symbols, myths, and media to build his image. He surrounded himself with artists, sculptors, and writers to promote his greatness. Even his iconic hand-in-coat pose was carefully calculated. He understood that perception was power. Psychologically, he displayed traits of narcissism, obsessive control, and emotional intensity. His charm was both genuine and weaponized.
Imagination rules the world.
In 1799, France was politically unstable. Napoleon seized the moment. In the coup of 18 Brumaire, he overthrew the Directory and became first consul. He portrayed himself as a stabilizing force, offering order in a time of chaos. Behind the scenes, he consolidated power with precision. France wanted peace, and he gave it, at the cost of liberty.
Power is my mistress. I have worked too hard at her conquest to allow anyone to take her away from me.
In 1804, Napoleon took the final step. At the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, he crowned himself Emperor of the French. Tradition dictated that the Pope crown a ruler. Napoleon rejected this. By crowning himself, he declared, "I owe my crown to no one but myself." The act was theatrical, calculated, and symbolic. It signaled to the world, Napoleon was history incarnate. Napoleon had a phenomenal memory, could dictate multiple letters at once, and operated on minimal sleep. He was obsessed over control and detail, from military logistics to political appointments. Yet beneath the discipline lay emotional instability. He exhibited signs of bipolar tendencies, periods of intense energy and confidence followed by paranoia and depression. He believed in destiny to the point of delusion, thinking history was unfolding through him. His narcissism was not merely vanity, it was a psychological engine. He needed to be seen, remembered, and revered. Napoleon was not just a conqueror, he was a reformer. He introduced the Napoleonic Code, revolutionized the legal system, improved education, established a centralized banking system, and stabilized the economy. But he also crushed opposition, censored the press, and ruled with an iron grip. To some, he was the man who saved France. To others, he was simply another emperor. Napoleon's relationship with Josephine de Beauharnais was intense and volatile. He wrote passionate love letters filled with longing, jealousy, and possessiveness. But when she could not produce an heir, he divorced her for political reasons and married Marie-Louise of Austria. Love mattered to Napoleon, but never more than legacy.
A woman laughing is a woman conquered.
Even in exile, Napoleon shaped his legend. He dictated memoirs, wrote letters, and ensured his version of history would live on. He became more than a man. He became a myth. Schools, laws, statues, and ideologies were born in his image. Love him or hate him, the world could not ignore him.
Death is nothing but to live defeated, and inglorious is to die daily.
Napoleon was a paradox, a visionary who embraced progress, and a dictator who suppressed freedom. His psychological depth remains one of the most studied in history. Blending ambition, trauma, brilliance, and instability. He was capable of great empathy, yet often indifferent to suffering. He built institutions that survive today, yet sought personal immortality above all. Napoleon was a paradox, a visionary who embraced progress and a dictator who suppressed freedom. His psychological depth remains one of the most studied in history, blending ambition, trauma, brilliance, and instability. Modern psychologists debate whether Napoleon suffered from narcissistic personality disorder, bipolar disorder, or simply displayed traits common among historical great men. His obsession with control, glory, and legacy bordered on mania. But genius and madness often walk hand in hand. Perhaps it was precisely this intensity that allowed him to achieve the impossible and fall so spectacularly. Strip away the titles, the battles, the statues, and you're left with a man. A boy from Corsica who clawed his way into history. A mind forged in humiliation, molded by ambition and consumed by legacy. Napoleon was not just a figure of power. He was a mirror of human potential and limitation. He wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the tallest, but he understood something few ever do, that history belongs to those who seize it. He reshaped a continent not just with battles, but with his mind. Was Napoleon a genius or a man consumed by his own myth? You decide. If you found this story powerful, subscribe to Time's Witness for more stories about emperors, epic battles, and turning points in history. Let us know in the comments, what do you like the most about Napoleon? Like, share, and help keep the memory of history alive. Until next time, witness history with us.